Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Hadjidimitriou. I am a thalassaemia patient. I am an executive board member of the Thalassaemia Foundation and an expert patient advisor for the Thalassaemia International Federation. Our first guest that I will introduce is Kathleen Durst. She has a Master's of Arts in Psychology. She is a licensed clinical social worker and a licensed independent clinical social worker. She's been a clinical social worker for the Thalassaemia Foundation since 2008. In addition, she has been a clinical supervisor at Boston University's online social work school since 2012 and recently in clinical practice at Headspace Health. Kathleen focuses on the connection between social and emotional wellness and physical health. In her individual and group remote sessions with thalassaemia patients, Kathleen uses evidence-based interventions to increase coping skills, which help patients to develop a toolkit to use when managing the various aspects of their rare blood disorder. Some of the tools are mindfulness, thoughts restructuring, organizational techniques, stress reduction, care coordination, and many more. Kathleen has a BS from Florida State University, an MA in psychology from Southern Connecticut State, and a Master's in social work from Columbia University. Her postgraduate work is from the Beck Institute, specializing in cognitive behavioral treatment with medical conditions. Kathleen has been in academic work since 2007, working in the fieldwork training departments at NYU, Stony Brook, and Boston universities. Kathleen is licensed and practices remotely as a licensed clinical social worker in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and in Massachusetts as a licensed independent clinical social worker. She lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with her husband, her 9-year-old son, and her Cocker Spaniel. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is George Constantino. I'm also a thalassaemia patient, and I am a founding member of the UKTS, United Kingdom Thalassaemia Society, and also a founding member of TIF, and still a very active board member. My passion is to ensure that all thalassaemia people are given the opportunity for a good quality of life. I will introduce you to Dr. Michael Angastignotis. I think most of you, if not all of you, know of him. This is a very brief bio because I could be talking here for the next 3 days. But Dr. Angastignotis graduated in medicine from the University of Aberdeen and specialized in pediatrics in the UK. He has been a member of the Cyprus Thalassaemia Control Program from its onset in 1971. He was a member of WHO Ad hoc Advisory Committee on the Control of Hemoglobin Disorders in the 1980s and has served as the WHO Expert Advisory Panel on Human Genetics. He was Director of Pediatrics Department of Makarios III Hospital in Nicosia, including the Thalassaemia Center, and since 2004, a resident medical advisor to TIF.
Third segment, we're going to focus on learning resources for coping with the illness and how to put yourself in control of your illness. The question is to Kathleen. I'm 17 years old. I always did my best not to be absent from school, so no one will notice that I have a problem. I'm not really ashamed of it, but I am afraid people will look at me with pity. I am mistaken. Should I be more open about it?
So if you know me, I always go to it is all individual. So, what is it that you want? Why would you want to tell someone or the classroom or anybody? So have a purpose, right? Have a reason to do it, not just because the Thalassaemia chapter people told you to do it, and not because your parents didn't tell you to do it. Really having a reason for why, you want to do it. This is such an interesting question because the anticipated reaction is what many times, a big reason why people don't talk or tell about a lot of things, right? The pity, you might be pity. Now, pity is really showing, it's not necessarily a negative word, but I know what they're saying. It makes them feel bad because it's the person feeling bad for you because you have this. So I would say be ready for, in general, people are bringing good. People want to be good in general, right? In general. So when you do tell somebody, be ready for what they're going to say. It might not be perfect. It probably won't be, because they're not sure what to say. They are just in this position of, they feel, and they feel for you. So there's, empathy, sympathy, there's pity. Sympathy is addressing, I'm sorry that's happening to you. Be ready for that. And sympathy isn't objectively or technically a bad thing. It just might feel like it for you. So they may not give you exactly what you want. So, but just be mindful that I think most people are trying. And then you can always tell them how you would like it handled. I want to tell you I have thalassemia, but it's something I just don't really talk about at school. So if you just, understand my boundary on that, or I have thalassemia and I would love you to ask me as many questions as possible. I'm open about it. Or you don't tell if that's what you're not ready to tell. And, you talk about it, process it, and just kind of know why you're doing what you're doing. That's how I go about that particular area. I think I covered everything.
Yeah. I remember when I first told my best friend, I met her in my college years. And I think it was second year of college, and I kept it quiet from her until we were going to study in Italy together, where I would have to bring my Destrol because I'm, need to continue my chelation. And when I told her this is what I received back, pity, and I did exactly what you said. No. I love my disease. My disease empowers me. Don't pity me. I love my disease. And it's like you said, Kathleen, it's okay to get sympathy, empathy, pity, and then, just tweak it how you want it handled from the person you say it. But as long as you don't have self-pity is destructive. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Dr. Michael, did you have anything for that? Or George, should we go to the next question?
I think you've covered everything, yeah.
Okay, the next question is basically very similar to the previous question, but it just gets a little bit deeper in life. I have a potential girlfriend. I don't know if to tell her about my thalassemia or what stage of our relationship should I do that. So it's very similar to the school, but now we're getting more ahead in life.
Okay, basically, he's talking about a potential girlfriend. He's not talking about a fixed, ongoing relationship, but a relationship that's about to start. It's a matter of opinion, actually. He's not forced to tell her. It's not absolutely necessary to discuss a health issue with a potential friend or a potential girlfriend. I think the issue is let the relationship develop. Let it become a trust relationship. If it's going to become a trust relationship, let it blossom. And according to where it's going, then yes, there will come a moment when you will feel comfortable to say, by the way, I need blood, I need medication, and I need it permanently. Labels may not be necessary, but things may have to be said, but not with any potential person or any person that we just happen to know. Let the relationship blossom.
Yes, Kathleen, would you like to add anything?
I would say well said. That's exactly right. Just see if that's the person, that this person is the person you want to tell? You don't know. Do you feel there's a connection, there's a feeling you get when you want to be intimate, when you really want to expose yourself and talk to somebody about yourself, so you just don't know. You won't know till it happens. There are a few other, let me think if there's something else. So if any questions, come to mind for you as you're dating the person, I don't know if this person can handle it, or I don't feel comfortable, then those are kind of red flags. Like, that's this. So it's good to take your time and be mindful and thoughtful about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I always say it in the beginning, nip it in the butt. If they don't want to be there.
Yes, Maria, I tend to think that many people are ignorant of this situation. And if you tell them without the attachment, as Mike or Kathleen said, that you're beginning to have the relationship, then it's an automatic shutdown. Not because they're afraid or anything. It's just that, oh my God, what is this? But
if their
ignorance will actually switch them off.
If their character is that of empathy and understanding, they won't shut down. They won't. They will sit down and listen. And
Maria, yes, we don't disagree, but if they don't ask, it's a potential relationship.
Yes.
If they don't ask, should I immediately volunteer to discuss my personal life? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would put it in that category of your personal stuff that you wait on sort of normally it unfolds, right? If you want to talk about parent dying or some of those deep, but it depends on the person, right? That's how you feel, right? And that feels right for you. It's just not going to be right for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got to the last question, Maria. Do you want to go ahead?
Thank you, George. I am married with children. It does not take a lot of effort to tell my wife and reassure her that thalassemia is not a dangerous disease and that there are many ways to avoid our children having it if she was a carrier. Thanks God, she is not. I don't know if my children should know about my problem, and if so, at what age to tell them. So this is for, Dr. Michael, and then Kathleen, we would love your input as well.
If I've understood the question, his question is about telling the children. Now, he's a homozygote, he's a patient. His wife is not a carrier, but all the children will be carriers. So at some stage, they need to know, not because their health is going to be affected, but because they need to know that they're carriers from the point of view of their own marriage, their own reproductive life later on in life. When is the right time? First, circumstances might arise that they will find out that their father goes and gets blood transfusion every few weeks, and you don't want to leave them wondering. So if the father disappears every 10 days or 2 weeks or every month to go to hospital, this will eventually filter down to the children, and it's better to be honest, whatever their age. As far as I can understand, something has to be explained. Concerning the patient, the children's carrier status, that could wait. It could wait until they're at school, perhaps high school, when they understand things better. By that time, they will have known the father's condition anyway. This is a little bit of a technical question. There are aspects to it which are not purely psychological. There are practical issues here. Will the children find out? When should the children know about their career status, etc.? So there are practical issues here. It's not a purely psychological issue.
Yeah, I would say, once again, definitely in agreement with that answer. The more that you can, first of all, the most important thing is the psychological status of the patient, right? So if the patient is very anxious and depressed, that's not going to be helpful for the child. And then the child picks up on all these things, right? The little antennae, they're just, what's going on here? So if it's like anxiety, depression, and, going for blood, and it's, the kind of a chaos at home and stuff, then it's just the mixture. So it's take care of business, try to be as healthy as possible. The more you normalize things, the better with kids. The earliest that the child can help, mix the Desferal, or, do little things, tiny things, or when they're ready, perhaps go to the hospital, make it a positive experience. They get a teddy bear, always match it with something positive. But I would say, just the hospital, maybe like, in grade school, this more intellectual information, I would say definitely wait on. And then, of course, the temperament of the child. If you have a highly anxious child, you might want to wait on some things and be just real gentle as you introduce the information. But I think that really first the stress in the family and making sure that that's good and solid, and then you introduce it in a normalizing kind of way. This is part of our, like the background thing, this is part of our family, this is part of what's going on. So, but yeah, I agree.
Would it not affect the child's trust to his parents if all of a sudden at a very late stage, 10, 12, 15, finds out that his dad or has been not telling him the truth? Because basically he's hiding, he's lying. Wouldn't that have a negative effect on the child if you delay it to a stage where they start understanding?
Yeah. I think that what we've said indicates that the father's condition should not be left, should not be postponed forever. The child will know that something is wrong anyway. So it's better to explain.
They pick up on cues. And last year when I presented for the TIFF conference on when to tell the children, I used as an example, no name mentioned, a patient that has 3 children between the age of 8 and 12. And they picked up on cues, and they finally came out and said, Daddy, where do you go every other Tuesday and you come home so late? Mm. And he finally went in and told them what thalassemia is about and what it means to be a carrier. And their mom was a carrier. To use an example of what I did with Julia, when she was a toddler, I'd take her with me at transfusions, and she considered my blood transfusion as a superpower juice. And it was always a very positive experience. And when I was done with my blood, she's like, Mommy, you feel stronger now, right? And in the morning, she's like, don't forget your super vitamins, and everything is positive. When I stick my stomach with the needle for the Desferal, she puts the Tegaderm on it and she gives it a little kiss. Everything is positive. So take that and turn it to the positive, and they start becoming empowered and little advocates at their school. My mommy has a disease, and she's spoken about thalassemia on several occasions at her school. And she even sits, when pre-COVID, she used to come with me to transfusions with my hematologist, and comes up with ways on how could mommy get cured. So it's really, they develop an empathy, and they really start caring about others' well-being. So it's a positive thing to discuss with your child at a young age what you're going through.
I'll just add one other piece to that when you were saying, trust. So it's complicated. So I want to be able to say this correctly. So, parents are entitled to their own privacy of their life, right? But when it becomes secrecy, it's toxic, right? So there's like a private part of your life, and then there's if you're keeping something secret because you are not ready to tell them, or you're ashamed or whatever. So it is the healthiest to, especially with a medical condition like this, that's such a big part of the life, to, bring it out, seek out help, and expose the family in the best way possible. Once again, taking into consideration everyone's needs. How is this for each person? Temperament of the child is really important. Like during COVID, when the world was all, really everything was extremely difficult and all these things, would that be a time to, let's say you're about to tell your child, and would that be the right timing? I would probably say, let's just wait a little bit until, of anything, whether it's thalassemia or big things, you're ready, maybe wait until things have settled a little bit. So just keeping in mind, that type of thing. And if families think through things, they usually make the best choice for their family. That's what I've found.
That's the end of our segment of this 3-part mental health podcast. And thank you, Dr. Michael. Thank you, Kathleen and George, for all the input. We got the professional input and the patient input, which is incredibly important for our patients. And we love our patients so much, whether our patients are in Bangladesh or Malaysia or UK or America. We're here for you. Reach out to us. Do not do this alone. And we will, just do our best to hold your hands as far away as you are. You are our second family. So we are always here for you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kathleen. And thank you, Maria, for fantastic moderation.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.